Breaking news! Something big is unfolding behind the scenes of the Philadelphia Eagles. The gears are turning at full speed, and the decisions being made right now will shape our destiny. While the city still echoes with chants of "Go Birds," Howie Roseman, the mastermind behind our greatest triumphs, is in motion, fine-tuning every piece to launch this team back to the NFL summit. But listen up, there are urgent issues that must be addressed. And what happens next will define who we are in 2025. You're about to hear red-hot updates straight from the source. But first, hit that like button only if you believe that Howie's winning mindset will carry us back to the Super Bowl. I'm all in, with faith, with fire, with green in my veins. And if you're flying with us, drop this in the comments. Go Birds! We're going to the Super Bowl. Now take a deep breath, because what comes next, you need to know. As training camp nears, mark your calendars for July 22nd, the Philadelphia Eagles are staring down some tough decisions in the secondary. You already know this isn't just about filling roster spots. It's about creating a Super Bowl caliber defense. And the way Howie Roseman has been working, there's no doubt he's still cooking behind the scenes. One of the biggest stories swirling right now involves Browns cornerback Greg Newsome. His name has been on Howie's radar, and it's not a coincidence. He checks a lot of boxes that the Eagles front office looks for when it comes to trade targets. Let's talk about why. Greg Newsome was a first-round pick, 26th overall in 2021. That matters. Howie loves players who were selected early in the draft, especially those who've shown flashes but haven't quite stuck. Why? Because he trusts the culture in Philadelphia. He trusts the coaching staff. And most importantly, he believes in the Eagles' player development system. Newsome had a strong start to his career. In 2023, he racked up 14 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and when quarterbacks threw his way, they only posted a passer rating of 74.8. Those are serious numbers. He even made the Pro Football Writers of America All-Rookie team. But here's where things get interesting. Last season, Greg Newsome's momentum stalled. He dealt with a hamstring injury, ended up on injured reserve, and only started 3 games. His stock took a hit. He fell out of favor with the Browns coaching staff. And yes, that includes former Eagles Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, who's now running the show on defense in Cleveland. Newsome wasn't the same guy. He slid down the depth chart. But, and here's the key, that opens a massive window for Howie Roseman. This is where Howie thrives. With the Browns reportedly shopping Newsome before the draft and not finding a trade partner, their leverage is fading fast. Other teams see it. They know Cleveland has been trying to move him. That opens the door for Howie to swoop in and offer a mid-round pick, something the Eagles have plenty of. It's a classic Roseman move. Find a talented guy whose stock has dipped, get him into our building, and let the culture and coaching resurrect his career. And let's not forget, Newsome is versatile. We're talking over 1,400 snaps on the outside and more than 1,100 inside at nickel. That's the kind of flexibility Vic Fangio loves in his defensive backs. And speaking of Fangio, this isn't just about plugging a hole. Vic Fangio and new DBs coach Christian Parker want guys who can adapt, cover multiple roles, and bring intelligence and athleticism to the field. Newsome fits that mold. If he were to join Philly, he could realistically push for a starting spot or at the very least upgrade the depth and give the team insurance behind guys like Quinyon Mitchell, Kelee Ringo, and Adoree Jackson. It also gives the Eagles more tools in a division that's stacked with high-powered receivers. Let's not gloss over this. The Eagles passed on all-pro cornerback Jaire Alexander, who landed in Baltimore on a 1-year deal worth $4 million, possibly up to $6 million. That's a pretty team-friendly deal for a player of his caliber. It raises questions. Was Philly waiting for something else? Were they already eyeing a move for Newsome or another trade target? Or do they still believe Kelee Ringo and Adoree Jackson can carry the load opposite of Mitchell? Remember, Ringo has promise, and he's been mentioned internally as a player with breakout potential. But that doesn't mean the front office isn't hedging its bets. Injuries happen, roles shift, and when the pressure's on, depth becomes the defining factor. As of now, if a game were to be played tomorrow, that CB trio would likely be Ringo, Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean. DeJean and Mitchell, both rookies, graded out incredibly well in man coverage last season. But behind them, it's not rock solid. That's where Newsome could slot in immediately. Pro Football Focus graded Newsome with a 69.6 overall last year, 55th among 229 corners. That's starting caliber play. His coverage grade, 74.6, which ranked 37th. And here's the stat that really jumps out. PFF credited him with 10 pass breakups in just 465 coverage snaps, which placed him 9th in the entire NFL. This guy still has game. So now the real question looms, will Howie make the move? Let me ask you this, Eagles Nation, should Philadelphia roll the dice on Greg Newsome and bring him into the fold before training camp begins? Or do you believe in the young core we've already got in place? Let me know in the comments. I want your raw, unfiltered opinions. Should we trade for Greg Newsome or ride with Kelee Ringo? And with that said, do you want to see the second part of this breakdown? Stick around and let me know in the comments below. If you're just joining us, we've been diving deep into the Philadelphia Eagles' potential pursuit of Greg Newsome and what it could mean for this secondary heading into training camp. There's no denying that this move would send a very clear message. The Eagles are not content with simply hoping their young corners develop. They're looking for proven pieces to stabilize this defense under Vic Fangio. Now let's zoom out and look at the broader picture. Why would Howie Roseman even consider making a trade like this in late June, just weeks before camp opens? Because he understands one fundamental truth about contending in today's NFL: you win with depth and flexibility. And right now, while the Eagles have talent at cornerback, there's still uncertainty. Quinyon Mitchell looks like a stud. He had one of the best rookie man coverage grades last season, and his ability to stick to receivers, read routes, and attack the football is drawing comparisons to some elite corners in the game. Cooper DeJean, drafted as more of a hybrid, has the instincts and tackling ability that's already made him a fan favorite. And Kelee Ringo? The front office continues to praise his development curve, and behind closed doors there's hope that he can break out in 2024. But even with those three names in the mix, there's one word that keeps coming up when you talk to insiders: experience. And that's where Greg Newsome has the edge. Let's not forget, he's been in playoff battles. He's faced elite wideouts. He's played under multiple schemes. And yes, while last season didn't go as planned, some of that can be pinned on scheme fit and injury, not ability. When healthy and used properly, Newsome is an asset. And here's something else to consider. Nickel corner is a starting job now. This isn't just about who plays outside on first and second down. With how often teams are in sub-packages, that third corner is on the field more than 60% of the time. If Vic Fangio wants to run more disguised coverages, bracket looks, and post-snap rotations, he needs DBs who can play both inside and outside, tackle in space, and blitz off the edge. Newsome's versatility makes him a perfect chess piece. This is why names like Asante Samuel Jr. also came up earlier in the offseason. The Eagles were reportedly monitoring his recovery from neck surgery, scheduled for follow-up medicals in July. His status might influence whether or not the Eagles pivot to someone like Newsome or continue scanning the market. But what's clear is that the front office isn't just sitting idle. They also passed on veteran Jaire Alexander, and not because he's lost his ability. It was likely a strategic decision. Health, cap flexibility, and fit with Fangio's system all played a role. But skipping Alexander tells us one thing: the Eagles still have their eyes set on something. And Newsome, due to his age, draft pedigree, and upside, fits Howie's playbook better than any aging All-Pro. Then there's the financial angle. This is something Howie Roseman is always 10 steps ahead on. By targeting a player like Newsome, who still has rookie contract value, you leave room to re-sign or extend your core pieces down the line. The Eagles have big decisions coming, whether it's Landon Dickerson, DeVonta Smith, or even an